नमस्कार। फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है। मैं आनंद श्रीनिवासन।
India mid-cap zooms
Hmm.
29%. Big bang year for markets. What do you feel about that, Anand?
Big small caps have done even better, but
Hmm.
my portfolio also has done not badly. But I
Hmm.
think this is market is running ahead of itself, and
Hmm.
things are not looking good for the next year. And any recovery is K-shaped recovery. Whether
Hmm.
earnings will grow to justify this market price or the market remains elevated while earnings catch up over a period of time is something
Hmm.
we have to wait and watch. But the
Hmm.
news is very bad.
Hmm.
In Mint, there was an article which says the number of people paying taxes, middle level taxes and low level taxes has come down in both as a percentage of total taxpayers and also
Hmm.
as number of taxpayers.
Hmm.
So the lower classes from the middle class and lower classes are really
Hmm.
hurting. That is, I'm saying those earning less than 15 lakhs and below are
Hmm.
suffering. It's very clear.
Hindustan Unilever distributors considering halting purchase of stock. What do you think about that?
Their incentive structure.
Hmm.
And Hindustan Unilever operates like ITC, where you pay upfront and buy the stock. What has
Hmm.
happened is lot of stock has been dumped in Bharat, that is rural India and semi-rural India, and that stock is not moved on. So this
Hmm.
change of distribution structure is to
Hmm.
put pressure on the distributors. The distributors have ganged up together and have refused to purchase from. They say they
Hmm.
will boycott HUL products. At the end of the day, I've been saying that the FMCG industry has been in trouble. It's not growing at the pace at which it should grow. That
Hmm.
is because rural India has lost its buying power.
Hmm.
So there is no volume growth, there is value growth because prices have been increased. But real
Hmm.
volume recovery will happen only beyond the second half of next year if monsoon is normal. Except perhaps Tamil Nadu, rest of
Hmm.
India has had very poor monsoon this year. We have
Hmm.
had floods both in Chennai as well as in Tirunelveli. So
Hmm.
Tamil Nadu escaped the brunt of it, but rest of India has had a very poor monsoon. So that
Hmm.
is also putting pressure on these brands which are targeted at rural areas like
Hmm.
Rupa and all those companies.
What about this headline that CD issuance stops 1 trillion amid liquidity squeeze? That certificate deposits that liquidity market liquidity is tightening conditions.
Banks are high, banks don't have money.
Hmm.
Liquidity has tightened. That means the interest rates on certificate of deposits have gone up. One
Hmm.
my banker called me
Hmm.
recently, one of my bankers, he is asking me whether I'll put a fixed deposit at a higher rates.
Hmm.
Basically, whatever it is banks are getting hungry for deposits
Hmm.
because RBI has increased rates. This
Hmm.
also means that they cannot lend to non-banking finance companies. It will be very stringent.
Hmm. Residential realty momentum in 2023.
So
Strongest in decades.
non-banking
Sorry.
finance companies in turn will have to borrow from market through bonds.
Hmm.
Also, what has happened is India Bulls housing finance is struggling, and
Hmm.
turnaround artist has bought about 2.5 million shares in that. Overall,
Hmm.
India Bulls housing finance, even if the old promoters have moved on, old
Hmm.
legacy issues are keeping it very low and tight. It is
Hmm.
extremely difficult for market to recover, and therefore interest rates are going up.
Hmm.
As far as reality goes, when interest rates
Hmm.
are very high and RBI
Hmm.
tells banks not to lend, how will real
Hmm.
estate do very well?
That's true. Maruti rides past peers in revenue growth per car. What do you think about that?
Their cars are the most priciest. They are selling high-end cars and not selling poor cars. What started as a people's car has become a rich man's car. But this is not only true of Maruti, it's true of all the car manufacturers. Only high-end cars are selling. Entry-level cars are doing extremely badly.
What about finance minister's notice may prompt crypto players to head home?
Are cracking on crypto. Most of
Hmm.
crypto is being used to launder money from China to US. As wealthy Chinese are trying to flee out of US, and
Hmm.
Binance was fined $4.3 billion because
Hmm.
they were facilitating money to be transferred from China into America
Hmm.
without both America and US knowing. China
Hmm.
does not know is all right, but they did
Hmm.
not even tell the Americans. That's why there's a $4.3 billion fine and a
Hmm.
possible 2 year sentence for our friend.
UK wants to put levy carbon on border tax on Indian. So India is trying to bargain relief measures. What do you think about that?
this deal is going nowhere. This deal was supposed to be settled for a long time, but the deal is not yet settled. The UK desperately needs a fair trade agreement with India. It wants it to send more students in doing useless courses in America, in England. Universities are 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom size. Send kids to these universities, get them a foreign degree. The basic idea is they don't come back. The kids are smart, they find something to do, marry a Firangi and settle down there.
Uday Kotak in an interview has said India is now a nation of investors. We must avoid bubbles through policy and regulation and education and supply of quality paper. Companies should raise equity at lower cost of capital for productive use. What do you think Uday Kotak is getting at?
He is basically telling you that the markets are overvalued and we have to bring down prices, and companies must, owners, promoters must will be willing to sell their stocks at lower valuations than what they have been trying to do. What he is trying to do is Tata sold it at 500, knowing fully well he could have priced it at 1000. Had he priced that share at 1000, it was still sold, and still it would have listed and made money. But Tata showed the way by leaving money on the table. So what Kotak is indirectly saying, leave money on the table for the investors. If you squeeze till the last paise, then no investor will come to the market.
Weighted average lending rates on both fresh and outstanding rupee loans from banks have fallen in November as compared to October. What do you think? Lending rates declining.
Yeah, interest rates were coming down, but the RBI has suddenly changed its policy, and if Fed also has changed its policy, this makes money flow into the system very difficult, and therefore banks, non-banking finance companies have to scramble for finance. Also, the Reserve Bank has now put a latest notification said that banks should not lend to NBFCs beyond a particular number. So NBFCs have to look at innovative ways to raise money. आपने इस पॉडकास्ट को सुना, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाएं. अगर आप बेल नोटिफिकेशन नहीं दबाएं तो आपको नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आएगा जब हर बार हम वीडियो डालते हैं. इसीलिए बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाइए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और इस वीडियो को अपने दोस्त और रिश्तेदार के पास भेजिए और उनको देखने की आग्रह करें. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद.
नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है. जनवरी के महीने में मैं त्रिवेंद्रम आ रहा हूँ. त्रिवेंद्रम में आपसे मिलूंगा. जो भी मुझे त्रिवेंद्रम में मिलना चाहता है, नीचे दिए हुए जीमेल में trivandrummp@gmail.com में मेल भेजें और या नीचे दिए गए व्हाट्सएप नंबर में हमें संपर्क करें. धन्यवाद.